Howdy, y'all. Marqus Aycart here, your friendly neighborhood branding guy with over 20 years of experience as a creative director and brand developer. You are watching and listening to...
This is the Love, Heal, Hustle takeover, and the Hustle edition continues.
Wait, takeover? I thought it was a crossover.
This is a test.
Okay, let's try this again. Before I was rudely interrupted. Howdy, y'all. Marqus Aycart here, your friendly neighborhood branding guy with over 20 years of experience as a creative director and brand developer. You are watching and listening to Made You Look, the podcast that's all about brand identity, strategies, the art of storytelling, and creating those first impressions that lead to lasting impressions. And speaking of impressions, this is a special episode. This is the crossover episode with not my guest, but my co-host, Ysaura Cordero. Did I say that correctly?
Yes.
Did I give it the pizzazz that it needed? Of the show, and I think we have it here, of Love, Heal, Hustle, which is another great podcast that's here, filmed at Sky Llama's podcast. Big shout out to Sky Llama's podcast studio in Totowa, New Jersey. Check out the link below that you'll see show up there. You know, if you're ready to take your podcasting to the next level, and what are you doing? You got to come here to Sky Llama's podcast and take it to that next level. Yes. So with that said, dare I say, I feel like this is a very powerful episode because not only are we not colliding worlds, combining worlds, right? This is like the Sky Llama's multiverse, right? You have your ecosystem and your audience, and then I have my audience. And this is a great opportunity. So if you're not subscribe to and hit that bell for notifications with Love, Heal, Hustle with Ysaura, then now's the time. Link is going to show up below. And same thing, I invite you here, the Love, Heal, Hustle crowd, to get on, come on down to Made You Look and get you some brand knowledge. So this is the episode where, you're in your show is different because you've broken down your seasons based on the subject matter that obviously relates to your show's title.
Right, to the combination of the three words, which I like to call are my ingredients to life: love, heal, hustle.
Okay.
And so normally I break down my seasons by those subjects. And right now we're actually on the hustle edition.
Okay. And I think I caught it on the heal side. So there was also a love side?
Hey, Marcus, not Marcus, try to spill the tea on.
No, I don't know, because I caught the heal episode.
Let me tell you, love it might be the next season.
Okay, so we're flipping. It's like a Quentin Tarantino movie. You get the middle, you get the end, and then you get the beginning. Yeah. Okay, I like that.
I felt like healing was an important part before everything else came along. I feel like that should come first, even though it is Love, Heal, Hustle.
Yeah.
It's not that, I didn't want to present that as a sequence. I felt like healing should be the first part, and everything else should follow.
And after the hustle, when all the dust settles, you got to find some love, right?
Exactly. We all need some of that.
So this episode is a very powerful crossover episode exploring how true hustle is not just about hard work. It's about readiness, resourcefulness, relationships, and making strategic investments that create long-term momentum.
Right.
So this is riding off of one of your previous episodes that was all about, the title was Money Loves Speed, which I love. And I first saw it and I was like, okay, you got me. You got the branding guy. You got the branding guy engaged. And pardon me, I forgot the guest's name. What was her name?
Grace June Kim.
Grace June Kim. And I loved that episode because you guys touched upon, or you gals rather, pardon me, you touched upon the subject matter of being, second generation or third generation, children of immigrants, and that, your parents are always teaching you that old school hustle mentality, which is like, if you work hard, everything will line up for you in life and it'll all work out. But it's like, it doesn't necessarily work that way.
That's not necessarily the case. And that's that hustle culture that we were taught, that if you work harder, you'll see more results. But I feel like that in the healing part, and even in the beginning, in the opening of Hustle Edition, we learn that it's not necessarily just working harder, but it's working on purpose, working with alignment.
Yes. Hallelujah. Praise. Spread the gospel. So, okay, together we're going to explore what hustle means today in 2026, because it's not the hustle that our parents grew up or their grandparents, great grandparents, etc. I think before it was all about working hard, and then we went into this era where it's like not working hard but working smarter. But today, I know you have your perspective on what hustle is today in 2026. I have my perspective, and I think that's great for our two audiences to see these two different perspectives, and ultimately, which I'm going to assume or presume that there's a convergence there, that we both kind of like meet in the middle, because I think how this all happened, we had a business meeting and talking about our professions and how our two worlds can, help one another. And, we finally sat down and said, wait, why aren't we doing a podcast together? So yeah, it's all about from, the smart hustlers of today. And this episode is called, Hustle 101, investing in people that are invested in you. If you watch the show, you follow me on Instagram at Made by Aycart. That's AYCART. You know that I'm constantly talking about investing in the right people that are invested in you. So with that said, it's all about, from financial discipline and access to capital to brand foundations, meaningful relationships, and the long game of building something with real value. So this is a conversation about hustle with intention, brand with backbone, and why the right investments can change everything. Ysaura, this is going to be your stage right now.
Okay.
First of all, let's give everyone the proper introduction. Who are you? I'm part of a networking group. It's called Letip, LETIP.com. And I have my own virtual B2B chapter, which is called Invictus, within the world of Letip. And one of the things we lead with all the time with our members is, who are you? What do you do? And why do you do it so well? So let's, terraform this audience to understand what it is that you do and why you do it so well.
So for the most part, I just started a podcast called Love, Heal, Hustle. And it's basically giving people all the tools that I hope that I had. And so when we talk about love, we talk about self-love and the importance of that and the value in that. And then when we talk about healing, we talk about the importance of awareness, of understanding our patterns, of breaking generational cycles. And then we talk about the hustle part, which is, building the legacy. And then that's when all the branding comes in and the business comes in. And that's pretty much.
Now you have more of a flex than that. Come on, this is the time. Roll up them sleeves, show off those muscles. You work for we don't have to list the company. You work for a very prominent company that works with other big companies. You have over 10, 15 years in that world, right? It has to do with finance.
In my corporate world. I do work for big law, and I've been in that field for about 10, 15 years. And funny story is I was actually supposed to be a lawyer, and that's how I even ended up in that finance world in big law. But I'm still somewhat in the legal field. But it's more directed in what it is finance. And then as well, I just started my business in Dominican Republic.
Yep.
So I started
Airbnb, right?
Airbnb,
yep.
The Love, Heal, Hustle retreat.
Okay.
Which should be coming this year, hopefully.
What kind of retreat is it?
So it's not necessarily a retreat like you would think, like
Smiles, everyone. Smiles.
like we're going to have a service there, but I would say it's an escape.
Is it an escape for the hustlers?
An escape for the hustlers.
Or the lovers?
it depends how you want to look at it, right?
Or the healers.
But for all of it. But I have made it a comfortable area. For example, I have like a remote content creation area that I've created.
Oh, nice.
Because I feel like that is the future, right? We feel like whenever we're going to stay at a place, we want a comfortable area to work in, whether it's working remotely and, for example, with me, like my corporate job, or whether it is an influencer who wants to do content creation.
Yeah.
I'm going to have that area and that workspace. Or even a podcast, or even Love, Heal, Hustle. Like I'll go there and I'll do a sitting at the content creation room.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've taken that experience in the world of finance, all of the, obviously, not only what you've learned, during your tenure in that world, but it's being in the trenches, right? We've all started somewhere.
Yeah.
We've gotten to this point, right? Mm-hmm. We all have a destination. Mm-hmm. Our journeys might be different, but I'm sure we all have a similar destination. We want success.
Right.
Right. And not just success for us, success in terms of generational wealth or generational planning, so that our children and their children's children have some sort of backbone or system that prepares them for life, right? Because these are the things, unfortunately, we didn't learn. We learned we had to study hard, work hard, and then, get that house with a 2-car garage. And, as we know, we've come from a pandemic where all of those rules no longer apply, right? The world is dealing with inflation. Homes are at a ridiculous price more than ever. People can't even say, oh, I'll go retire somewhere else in the United States. Yep, guess what? It's expensive there too. So we're living in a time where you have to be extremely resourceful, extremely savvy, very witty and clever, and use all of those life lessons and the connections and resources that you've established to build that new hustle mentality. So let's get into it. What is a hustler today in 2026?
What is a hustler in 2026? To me, I can say what a hustler to me personally is.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's someone walking on purpose.
Okay.
For sure.
Standing 10 toes on that business.
100%.
All right.
And if you're not walking, because that projects. And especially in the world that we're living in right now, right? In the branding world. We're living in a world where we're branding and marketing off social media. And I feel like you can give a little bit more insight on this, but I feel like right now we're living at a time where we are all walking marketing and branders, because we are now socializing on social media. We're exposing our entire life on social media. People are now introducing products through social media, individually on social media, rather than through companies, through businesses. So I feel like that's like the modern day of branding and marketing. It's individuality and it's selling experience.
So is that the modern day hustler to you?
Yeah, for sure. If you can sell your experience, for sure, I feel like that's something that's going to stick. If you can sell your identity, who you are and what you've learned, and create something off of that, I feel like that's something that can stick and that's meaningful and long term. Whether, over something that's just a product. But when that product is attached to an experience, it's different. You gravitate towards the audience.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that to a certain perspective, in the sense that I'm not going to say everyone's a marketer and everyone's a brander these days, but it's established the value of what that is, because I do appreciate the entry point for people to learn that and realize the importance of it. And hey, if you have the bandwidth and the capacity to delve further into that and make that a new passion point for you, oh yeah, by all means, go for it. Go from Canva to actually learning how to use Adobe. Go from Adobe to actually putting those, action plans into the real world space when you're out there networking or establishing deals. Like, learn to turn your brain into a computer so that the computations are not just happening on the actual computer, but you've trained your brain to think fast, react fast, and make the necessary movements or adjustments to take those deals, to create those, action plans that welcome a new ideal change to your, target audience and demographic. So I think that's a good point to bring up, that ever since the pandemic, it's finally allowed the world to understand the landscape that is branding, marketing, and what it is to mean digital in today's landscape. So it's sad what's happened, right? People lost people, family members, co-workers. I mean, you name it. then I'm not going to get into the conspiracy theories with whether it was China or it was the US. There's so much happened during that time. But I bring up those weird, bullet points because what it really served, whether you believe in conspiracy theories or not, or, it became a time of being woke. And I'm not using woke from a perspective of politics. I'm using woke from the sense of the veil was lifted. And people finally started seeing the value of what is the most valuable to you? What is the most important entry point? And how do you create that longevity in that plan so that you're not just surviving, you're thriving? So to me, the hustler today is the savvy, is the witty, meaning that you know how to read the room.
Yeah.
Clever, because now there's and here we are talking about the pandemic and how people realize the power of experience and they delved into social media. Now we're in the world of AI. Like I just finished a meeting talking about, developing agentic AI platforms, using vibe codes, that's the new thing, to build a website or an app, a web app, or PWA.
Like prompts, you mean?
Yeah, so it's now instead of, I come from old school, right? Like I have the vision as a creative, and then I can also program that vision based on coding.
Coding, right.
Hard coding. And, now you could just write a prompt, tell the prompt, and ideally the one who gets the biscuit, right? The winner, the winner that gets the chicken dinner is the platform or the software that is the fastest, right? So if I can write, hey, I want to do a Love, Heal, Hustle retreat app that helps me immediately filter out who I want there as a guest and who I don't. How that app will look like, I don't know. But you, as a person that owns that property, would know how to build out that app. You essentially, use that as a filter system so that it helps you, do some of the heavy lifting that comes with bookings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then you write all those prompts, and there's apps out there that'll immediately design it and build it out for you. Now, I'm not trying to put myself out of business or any other web designer.
Don't give away too much.
But no, I mean, the thing is, like, you can figure that out, and especially there's going to be a learning curve, right?
Yeah.
So that might take you maybe 4 to 6 hours to figure it out, and that's great. At least you now know what goes into it. But, like I said, AI still needs a captain behind that wheel steering that ship.
For sure.
Right?
The key is in learning how to prompt it correctly.
Correct. So what you might take you 6 hours, right? It might take me just 30 minutes, right? So it depends. But, you have to understand, and this is not to delve into a whole tangent about AI. We're talking about, I think the hustlers today need to take advantage of AI. They need to take advantage of all the offerings that are out there, try them all, and figure out what fits you to better serve your target audience or, your ideal customer profiles. But, there's so much out there. So the excuse of like, once upon a time, oh, well, I can't find the job, or there's nothing out there.
I mean, they are saying that AI is creating millionaires quicker.
Yes.
But I mean, how many people are actually thinking about that, saying like, you know what, let me utilize AI to become a millionaire?
They're not, and that's why
it is happening, but it's not happening. It's not like,
yeah, they're not everyone's thinking about that. Because I just spoke to someone in my circle, like someone I chit chat with on social media. I said, dude, you've been talking about trying to look for a more substantial and stable job. Get into AI, dude. Go back to school and do that. And he's like, oh, I don't know. I've always been a blue collar guy, and and it's like, okay. At least you're aware of that. I'm not going to shit on him because
but you don't think AI is going to be part of the blue collar world too? Maybe.
But, with a person like that, there's that saying, I can lead a horse to water. I can't force it to drink.
It, yeah.
So who's that for? Who's going to take advantage of this messaging that we're putting out there? The savvy. The one who hears that, the light bulb pops off and is like, okay, I'm ready. That's the catalyst, the push that I needed to go to that direction.
And who always wants to learn.
The hungry.
That's another thing.
The hustlers.
Because exactly. That's another thing. Like, what's a true hustler is someone who's constantly evolving and learning. Because if not, you're going to be left behind. And even with AI, from the beginning when it was introduced to me. I said, I need to get on that.
Yeah.
Because if that's the future, I'm trying to go there.
Yeah. It's funny for me.
I've sat in the table in the corporate world where, they're bringing in all these people who are tech savvy, computer savvy, and I'm talking about like 10, 15 years ago when I first started, entered the corporate world. And they're like getting rid of, everyone who was there who wasn't as savvy as far as tech savvy. And it's like, I don't want to be that person.
Yeah, I did an episode called Will AI Replace You in 2026? And the honest answer was yes and no. Yes, for those that are relentless, that are hungry, that are hustlers. See what I did there? That are hustlers, that are savvy, that know how to, whatever, is put in front of them, they will figure it out. Because a hustler back then was, listen, you and I grew up in New York. We knew a hustler.
A hustler.
By any, I'll leave it at this. By any means necessary to put food on the table, right? But today, it's still essentially the same mindset, but not by any means necessary. By any means of what is not limiting me. And guess who limits you? You.
Yourself.
That's right. So as long as you don't make yourself the roadblock, you don't make yourself the bottleneck, and as long as you stay hungry, and, I get it, life happens. Hey, oh my God, I have, a lawsuit. Oh my God, I have child support. Oh my God, I might be going to jail. God, I don't know. I'm presenting all these horrible scenarios.
Yeah, it's real life.
Stuff happens, right? I want to say the other word, but stuff happens. Your bubble was bursted and things happen. Whatever that is, that too shall pass, right? Yes. Those problems will go away. They don't last forever. When those problems are out of the way, take the time to really sit in front of the mirror and look at yourself and say, how can I take this to the next level? Don't complain like, oh my God, I did this, I did that. Why am I here? You're going to be in that rabbit hole forever. Take the time to adjust, to evolve, and stop thinking from a survivor's mindset, the survive mindset, but the thrive mindset. So let's talk about with that. Speaking of hustlers and thrivers, you did Money Loves Speed. For my audience that's not aware of that, what exactly does that mean?
So money loves speed. So let's say you have an opportunity presented and you don't have the funds for it. What does that create? That creates panic and pressure. So that's what I mean when I say money loves speed.
And then, I know the question is probably going to come up in someone's mind. Hey, yeah, I would love to have the money to do these things that I wish of. How does someone prepare themselves to be, especially if they're just starting out, how do they get that money so they could be speedy on their reaction, speedy on the opportunities? Like, how does that happen?
I mean, number one, you have to find out where's your strengths, right? You have to find out what is your purpose. And that's for me, that's number one, finding out what is your purpose, and then you take it from there.
And so let's say you've been a good boy and a good girl. Is it a good idea? Like, I'm 22, I just graduated. You know what? This degree I just got, I'm not sure if I want to go that path. I want to pursue starting a cool giant burrito business or whatever. I have the ideas, I have the audience, but I don't have the money. Should they, and they've been a good boy and girl, they have good credit, should they go out and get a loan? Is that something, how they can start playing with money?
I mean, number one is branding, right? That's where you come in. It's the foundation of it all. And then once you have the foundation of it all, I feel like that if you believe in the foundation and you present it correctly, then you will have sponsorships that come your way. And then that's when branding comes in as well, which is a big part of it all. And then putting in the work.
So I think that based on what you're saying, like, I mean, I'm always opposed to loans. I don't like people getting into debt. I even have clients where they present to me their scenario. I do the big onboarding process or the vetting process. And I say, how about show me what you're capable of doing on your own. And when you're truly ready to invest, and I check in 3 months, 6 months, and I can see your growth and the adjustments you've made and how well it's proven in terms of the financial aspect of things, then invest, right? But I think what you're also saying is that align yourself with the right people, right? If you're hanging out with Jimmy from the block and Jimmy's not doing nothing and you tell him this great idea, what's Jimmy going to do?
Oh, Oh, yes.
He's going to shit on your idea. He's going to put you in the same place as him because what? Misery loves
company, yeah.
So align yourself with the right people. Seek those opportunities for investment. I've always believed try not to use your own money. Use other people's money. But like, where does the speediness come from? Why can't it be money loves smart choices?
Sometimes there's a good opportunity that comes your way, and if you don't have the funds for it, then that opportunity is just gonna go away.
So speed without preparation is panic, like you mentioned.
Exactly, it's panic, it's pressure.
And preparation turns speed into power.
Right.
All right.
I mean, I've been in situations where I've been presented with, opportunities where I know that it's profitable, but the funds are not there.
Yeah, I mean, that happens. But having that luxury of being prepared on various levels, including your finances, obviously,
open the door for so many more opportunities.
There's the saying, right? You got to pay to play.
Oh, yes.
All right, so let's make this into like a U-turn or a K-turn or J-turn or whatever you want to call it. Let's talk about, okay, you have the money, you have the finances, you did all the right things. Let's start talking about investing in those invested in you and what that truly means. I mean, I think this is the emotional and philosophical aspect of this episode where we really get into, people need to stop making desperate investments and start making aligned ones. The best moves come from when both sides are committed. So like you said, you have to have everything in alignment. You have to build that strong foundation. So what does invest in those invested in you mean in business, relationships, and growth, right? You're doing love, heal, hustle, which obviously speaks to the different components that make the everyday human. There's the emotional side. There's the, fixing side of things, right? There's a lot of people that either want to fix other people or need to fix themselves. And then there's the side where you have to prepare yourself for what's out there so you can continue this long game of, surviving, stability, security, and ideally not only providing for your children, but your children's children, which is extremely difficult. You hear of movie stars and musicians that get ripped off all the time because they didn't look at their books. They didn't do their due diligence. So what does invest in those invested in you mean in that world? How do you know when someone is truly invested in your success?
I mean, I look a lot at that, at the way that they're handling their own life too. Again, it goes back into the alignment thing. I feel like if you're not aligned with my vision, then there is just
the mismatch.
Yeah, there's going to be a mismatch there. And also another thing is like, it depends on the person. What energy are they bringing into you? Is there something that's reciprocal there? Are they adding or are they taking away from you?
So are they vibing with you? Are they aligned with you? And do they believe in your vision? And how much do they believe in that
if they're not believing in your vision and they're walking a different path, you don't want that to bleed on you, because at the end of the day, it's going to bleed on your brand. It's going to bleed on what you believe in and what you stand in.
So not every opportunity deserves your money.
Yeah, not every. So you don't. And my mama has always told me this: no todo el dinero que tú lo coges. Not every money you receive, and not every business you invest in. And I that's come up a lot recently.
And that was Spanish, y'all. That was Spanish.
Very Spanish.
So the key takeaways here, I always profess these words because I believe in it, because I live it. Invest in those invested in you. There's a lot of times clients bring me on, and sometimes I'm more passionate than they are. And I have to simmer down now. I have to take it easy. I say, okay, let me take a breath. Let me sit down. Okay. Why am I more excited about your business than you are? Why am I already thinking ahead of than you are?
Because you're more passionate than they are. You're working more on purpose than they are.
And ideally, what I've learned is, okay, our passions need to be aligned, because if I'm way more excited and I see the bigger picture than you do, then this might not be the perfect match. So, not every opportunity deserves your money. Not every person deserves your energy. And not every partnership deserves your trust. So